Greetings and congratulations from TouchHistory. I, Parvez Kamal, am trying to present the history of America based on true events, feeling the urge to inform the next generation. Mansa Musa stands as one of the most remarkable figures in global history, a ruler whose wealth became legend and whose influence reshaped continents. Yet his story is more than gold-laden caravans and breathtaking generosity. It is the story of a man who transformed an African kingdom into one of the greatest centers of culture, knowledge, and prosperity the medieval world had ever seen. Born into the ruling Keita dynasty of Mali in the early 14th century, Musa ascended to the throne during a period when West Africa was emerging as a vibrant crossroads of trade, ideas, and cultural exchange. Under his leadership, Mali evolved from a prosperous kingdom into a world power, stretching across the Sahara and dominating key trade routes that linked Europe, North Africa, and sub-Saharan Africa. Salt, ivory, gold, textiles, knowledge, and belief systems flowed through the empire like lifeblood, and at the center of this vast network stood its visionary ruler. He was not only a king, but a strategist who understood that true power came from stability, wealth, diplomacy, and learning. The legend of Mansa Musa is inseparable from the dazzling story of his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, a journey that stunned the medieval world and etched his name into global memory. Setting out with tens of thousands of people, musicians, soldiers, servants, and attendants, he crossed deserts with camels carrying enormous amounts of gold. Accounts describe him distributing wealth freely along the way, giving gold to the poor, gifting it to rulers, and spending lavishly in every city he visited. His generosity was so overwhelming that in Cairo, the value of gold reportedly dropped for years due to the sudden surplus he introduced into the economy. While tales of this journey often blur the line between fact and myth, its impact is undeniable. It marked West Africa as a place of immense wealth, complexity, and sophistication. Maps created in Europe decades later depicted Mansa Musa holding a golden orb, symbolizing not just riches, but the recognition of Africa's cultural and economic power. Yet he was more than a wealthy king traveling with extravagant displays of gold. Mansa Musa was a patron of knowledge, an architect of cultural transformation, and a leader with a long-term vision. Upon returning from his pilgrimage, he brought with him scholars, architects, and teachers from across the Islamic world. He used Mali's resources to build mosques, libraries, and schools, turning Timbuktu and Gao into thriving centers of global learning. The city of Timbuktu especially blossomed under his rule. The legendary Sankore University housed hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, covering subjects from astronomy to medicine to law, philosophy, mathematics, and poetry. With the help of architects like Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, whom Musa is said to have invited back from Andalusia, he constructed buildings that blended West African traditions with Islamic architectural styles. Timbuktu became a beacon of scholarship, attracting students and thinkers from distant lands and transforming Mali into one of the intellectual capitals of the medieval world. Mansa Musa also strengthened his empire's political foundation. He expanded Mali's borders, securing access to key trade routes and valuable resources, such as gold mines in Bambouk and Bure. These mines supplied nearly half of the world's gold during his era, making Mali an economic powerhouse. Under his guidance, trade flourished, agriculture strengthened, and regional alliances deepened. His diplomatic skills helped cultivate relations with North African and Middle Eastern states, connecting Mali to a broader global network and elevating its status far beyond the borders of West Africa. His reign is often considered Mali's golden age, a period marked by peace, prosperity, and cultural enrichment. But the legacy of Mansa Musa extends beyond his own lifetime. He represents a crucial chapter in African history that challenges simplistic narratives and reveals the continent's profound contributions to global civilization. His leadership demonstrates that medieval Africa was not a land isolated from the world, but a vibrant region that influenced economies, knowledge systems, and global trade. His empire showcased sophisticated governance, a thriving intellectual community, and unparalleled wealth. In many ways, he reshaped how Africa was viewed by the rest of the world, placing it firmly on the map of global power and culture. His story also remains relevant today as a symbol of visionary leadership. Mansa Musa's wealth was extraordinary, but his true impact came from how he used it, investing in education, diplomacy, and infrastructure that benefited generations. He understood that knowledge was a form of wealth more enduring than gold, and he built institutions that continued to shine long after the gold dust settled. Modern historians note that his reign set into motion cultural and intellectual movements that influenced West Africa for centuries. The legend of Mansa Musa endures because it stands at the intersection of reality and awe. He was a king who walked across continents, who commanded the attention of empires, who turned cities into universities and deserts into highways of trade. His name evokes images of shimmering caravans, towering libraries, and a flourishing African empire that once dominated the heart of the world. Yet at its core, his legacy is the story of a leader who recognized the potential of his people and elevated his nation onto the global stage. Mansa Musa remains one of history's most extraordinary rulers, a figure whose influence still echoes across time. A reminder that Africa has always been a land of greatness, innovation, and world-changing power. Subscribe if you love this kind of historical storytelling. It's not just facts, it's feelings. Drop your current city and time in the comments. I love knowing history with True. Thank you.